So hello everyone, I'm on here, welcome to my review of Kakegurui episode 11. And like, I know I say it every week, I'm like, wow, the anime has no gambling. But this episode is like, what should we do? 1 minute, all in. And then it's like, who will get the most money? Like, it has nothing to do with gambling. They literally is within it one thing. Yes, the old plan was like, oh, to throw away the queen, so tricky with this tree. Like, it is really the most simplest and laziest way to ever trick someone ever in a poker game, right? So in similar that kind of gaming, because they had played like, I don't know, like 3-4 hands last episode, and then she was clearly like going bonkers with her, like, oh, it's all in everything, yeah. So he should never think that, okay, like he has nothing to really base her plays on, like nothing at all. And normally you will play a few rounds around, maybe like 20-30 rounds. Yeah, you would go for a few rounds, right? So you can say that, yes, I see this thing, and I see this thing, and like, yeah, like he has absolutely nothing to base his hand on, like literally nothing. Like he can say that, oh, he can also this thing. My hand is this good in the game. My hand beats like 20 out of 40 hands. Like that's the only thing he can say. Oh, my hand is, and the chance of winning with my hand is like 37% chance. Based on this, like based on the general game, like that's should do it. Or like, oh well, he had a pretty good hand, so it's like 80%, whatever. That's the one thing he can say really, because he's even throwing away, but it's very minuscule information actually. For like, I throw away 2 cards, and that is very little, and you have to kind of play a lot of rounds to see the behavior and so on. So that by itself is kind of crazy, and I have to say I really dislike the whole thing. It's like, because normally in poker, right, you might text a whole lot of whatever, but also this kind of poker, usually you raise, then say, okay, you have, okay, I want one other card, or yeah, actually 1 card more, then I raise. Yes, you have a few times you can change your cards, right, or play get more cards. If you text out, you get more cards on the board, but if it's this kind of poker, you get more cards in your hand, or you change cards, yeah. So you get a few of those, and you raise in between. But they just like, nope, okay, raise, yeah, they didn't get that probability, so there's no. That's why it's so stupid, to be honest, because there's no meaning to say, oh, I play all crazy, oh, all in, and he's like, well, I was all in, yeah. There's no meaning to do that, because you don't have to like bait him into it, because you can't be like, oh, I'm crying, or we have so bad hand, right? That is usually because you want to get the sympathy / weakness, and like, oh, then I raise even more to get 1 more card. Like, well, then I just cut the raise you and get, well, no card, I won, anyway. Yeah, that's kind of what you want to do, you want to like, pull them into you, between the hands, so you can get more racing, but also generally other cards and so on. But because you didn't have that, you were like, yeah. And the whole crying part actually was stupid. I said right away, it was stupid because she was crying. And I was saying that generally crying to trick so stupid, but the effect of it was pointless in the episode. And that actually made sense to me that didn't happen, because I mean his effect didn't happen. She was crying, and he's like, oh, I won this easily. That's kind of his reaction, right? But he didn't actually race. Or did I miss it? Comment, say if I'm wrong there, but I'm pretty sure I watched it one time again. I was like, isn't he just crying? And they all like, oh, and they have some kind of, different effects on that. And then he's like, oh, I won. And then we see the class president, so on, or whatever sisters on, and they're like, she might have lost. And like, yeah, they give that thing. And Yumiko was like, oh, my plan is perfect. And then you see them show their hands, right? I did not see him raise anything more afterward. And it wouldn't really matter anyway, because she started crying really late in the episode. Her crying was like super late. They already raised like $10 billion, whatever, already. So it's kind of like, even if he raised more money, they would still, have bankruptcy him anyway, because he was an enormous amount of debt anyway. So it's kind of like, really? The crying should have been way earlier, I felt. Or at least have some effect afterward. Like, he's crying. Then he's like, okay, fine, take my card. So like, yeah, then he should throw him most of that. That was weird. That was really weird. And obviously it was ridiculous too that he would be like, oh, she's crying. Oh, I won. Because at first, my wife was like, yeah, she's crying because she's tricking you. Like, why are you trusting these absurd crocodile tears? There's no way those tears are genuine. Like, no one will ever believe that. Isn't it like an experienced gambler? Why would you ever believe your opponent's tears? You're like, what a weak woman. It's like, really? You really think she's crying because she really is that afraid of losing? Come on. And also one thing I generally didn't like with this whole team, the tension hitting, is that he was like, oh no, the class president here, I can't lose now, something like that. Or like, oh, what if I lose now, so on. That was stupid, because they went in all leaning right on the first freaking card hand they had. There's like no strategy on it, meaning that he has to say that, okay, my hand is this good, so I'm gonna all in you right away from my first hand, like regardless of what's happening. And then 10 minutes later he's like, oh, I might lose now, she's here. It's like, what? But your hand is exactly equal in strength as it was before or after she's there, or she's looking at you, right? Yeah. Your hand is what matters, and her hand, the strength of your hand is what matters, not what other people say next to you, or how much money you put in. It's the hand. So that made no sense either. They would be so afraid of it. I mean, obviously, it's more nerves and so on, but it was kind of ridiculous. Like, oh, maybe I played wrong. Like that makes no sense because your strategy is already been set from this first round of the game. So you can't say that. Like, you can't. It doesn't affect you, right? So it's sort of unnecessary emotions made no sense, to be honest. So I think that, yeah, the episode really bugs me in the wrong way. That being said, you had the nails in it. The nails scene was crazy. It was gruesome. One of the worst I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, that scene was crazy good. So people are probably gonna say now and go to Reddit so and be like, oh my god, best anime ever. But seriously, they had one really good scene episode. That was the nail scene. Good / just guru, torture porn, right? That scene was good, and then nothing else was good. Everything else was bad in my opinion, like mediocre or bad. The pacing was horrible, yeah. So not really. The evolution of system wasn't really whatever, and yeah, like oh I was lying. That scene was continuous, like ding, I was lying. That scene was very greatly animated, but it was like yeah, it was so obvious. So that irritates me to beyond belief with anime, because I'm sure people are gonna say this is good anime because that nail scene was so awesome. But like that's one scene in 22 minutes of animation, which you can pretty much just watch the nail scene and then watch her doing this thing, and that's the whole episode. The rest of it is completely pointless. Well, okay, you can see the class rep twin or whatever and so on, or she's hiding behind mask on 5 or 3 or 3, but everything else is just like whatever, right? So the first, I don't know, 5 minutes to that scene is like I'm all inning, then they use like racing, and it definitely felt like I joke about it, but it feels like Celebrity Apprentice, where you do this. Like every third episode of Celebrity Apprentice, especially later seasons, they just have this fundraising episode. It's like, yeah, color your own baseball cap and then sell it. And it's like, you can't obviously do anything good, so you just call the good celebrity friends to get their money and or sell a hot dog for like $1 million. Those kind of things, right? And that's what it felt like straight up there. It's like, who can get money from? You can give money. Like, oh, you over here, Mary, give us money. It's like, come on, like, there's no tension to it. And it feels so sorry too, because like it started out at least being a little bit like, oh, we're gonna play this game now. And it's like, oh, all in. And also the whole concept is really bad in my opinion. That I am all inning you, and then I don't have any more ships. So you can say, well, I all in you plus more than you have. So I won automatically, because you cannot outbid me now. That is such a stupid game. It really is. And yeah, like it's stupid. And then it breaks upright. The whole episode, and it just... The episode, I loathed the episode by a lot. Like the nail scene was... The nail scene also was more shock than good. Even the nail scene was of course good because it's extreme and because it's unique and because it's like not something you see every day in anime or whatever, right? Or in media. But on the same time, it's kind of like that's the only thing that has kind of value in the episode. Everything in between is just really slow pacing. And then he explodes the glasses and gets white here, yeah, and the space thing is like it's confusing. But even so, I mean, just come on. It's I did not believe I could be disappointed again in this anime when it comes to the gaming part, for the gambling part. We're actually gonna have some kind of strategy and so on. But I am again, and I'm actually surprised with it. I kind of rest my mind around episode 3 and 4, saying, okay, this anime has sort of gambling. It's just weird, etchy hentai kind of thing. It's go with the flow, and then we get here and it's like, okay, but this is just ridiculous. You can't just do like one hand all in. It's just ridiculous. It's just so lazy writing to me, in my opinion. It's just like, what is happening? And then it's try to portray a game, like at least try to portray it. And I mean, the session they have in between the antagonist is pointless too. It's just point its position and nothing happens, right? You just sit there talk, and it's like, oh, raise more money. Oh, well, I bet my nails then. It's like, just like that. They could have like 5 minutes of gambling. And then say, okay, we have no more money now. Okay, my nails. That could happen, right? There's no point having zero action, zero story, zero whatever, comedy, etchy, whatever you want, for those first like 5-6 minutes and so on until anything. But it really was nothing there. Like, there's no point having that dead time there. That could have been something meaningful. But they just don't. They just like sit there and wait for that shit scene. And then it's like another like 5 or 6 minutes, the next scene, right? So it's like 2-3 good scenes, and everything in between is like whatever. It's really pointless. I think it really is. I felt when I watched it, I was cringing like crazy on the nail scene, probably for another like 5 or so minutes. So it kind of kept my mind going. I was like, oh, crazy! Oh, it kept my mind going for that. But that being said, you know, those time frames after that was meaningless. So like that was a powerful scene, though. So you kind of miss out on the scenes afterwards. Probably when you watch it, it's like, whoa, yeah. But the more, actually, yeah, I was this. When I had watched it, I was still like, pretty mediocre. It could be better. I have seen a better episode of either, yeah. But now I'm doing this review, and I like rewatch it, and I think about it, and I look at a few scenes, and I go through the anime episode and so on. I was like, yeah, it's even worse. Like, yeah, like as soon as it's that shock value, that's what, yeah. As soon as the shock is lifted, as soon as that veil is removed, it feels like a weird anime episode of Celebrity Apprentice, fundraising, and 1 or 2 extra seasons. That's the one thing it feels like. Yeah, like it's just. I never have that in Apprentice when you go out and like half nude on the street and so to get money and so. Yeah, so it feels like a weird, very weird episode. Very pointless, right? Yeah, but it's like the more I think about it, like afterward, the less good taste in my mouth, right? Yeah, I think that is a lot about the shock value. As soon as the shock value is removed, right? As soon as the shock is over and you start like logically thinking about what you saw, you feel that okay, that was a good scene, but everything around it was just nothing. So it's like I could basically see this clip, and the more thinking about this anime, definitely better put in clip form. And I'm not saying sometimes as well anime, but the pacing could definitely usually be like one episode could be like 10 minutes or 12 minutes and so on. And this again feels like something you could definitely done in half the time and would have the exact same content, just way better pacing, right? So they really don't fill out those middle parts with anything meaningful. And that is probably what I hate the most today, because those middle part things there should be filled out with actually like poker gambling and like strategy and so on. And that will also build up his reaction, her reaction, like her crying, and then after that, so kind of more like, you know, racing and so on. And then we see that, ha, I tricked you. But now it's like, oh, I'm crying. He's like, and then like nothing happened for 3 minutes. Like, ha, I tricked you. It's like, yeah, but those 3 minutes during that time frame between crying and tricking you did actually change the game states. Like the game state was still intact after you cried until you reveal your fake crying. So it really made nothing, and also those minutes was boring. So it's like, why did it have some gambling there? Change the page, raise the phone, whatever, right? Try to back out, and then you go in there, and it's like, I tricked you. That would make it like 10 times better. So I think it's really bad actually, and I really mean it. Like really mean it. In every sense of the way too, yeah, because that is boring, and it also makes no logical sense or like narrative sense. It makes no sense in any way. Like it's not funny, it's not good action, it's not like good narrative characterization of the characters, but it shouldn't be. If he's so, haha, she's crying, oh I won, what a weakling, that he should have, you know, raised more. Yeah, there's no effect on him. He's saying something, but it doesn't affect his behavior. So that's just really strange, right? And afterwards he's like, that's just super smug, like, I tricked you, and so on, right? But it's like, why is he smug about? He went in with it all in 20 minutes ago, right? So her smile is awesome, so fetish face and so on, but it really makes no sense when you look at it as a narrative, as a characterization of her own. Obviously it's in hybrid mode there, but it really doesn't make no sense in what she accomplished by tricking him, because she is still in the same state as was earlier. And actual game state wise, if you disregard the ships, look at the game state of what they went in with, it's been the exact same game state, the same car ride for 20 minutes. So her being awesome and smart, like, oh, we tricked you, we did this thing, oh yeah! And it's like, no, the only thing they did was talking about 2 queens. After that, the game was really finished emotion, right? That was in the first minute of the episode. Everything else after that is just pure exposition of strategies. And that doesn't mean it has to be bad, but it just means like, then it has to be more than what it was, right? And also you shouldn't be so over the smug to what you did, because you actually didn't do anything. Except the whole, yeah, but you didn't actually, that didn't change the game state. You didn't change the strategy. They didn't actually alter the plans. You tricked you. Like, you tricked them at all. You just bet your body parts for money. So you didn't actually, you should be more like, I did everything to beat you. So her reaction I felt was actually really poor. She should be more like, you see this? I cut off my hand, but you die. Yeah, like, that should be more reasonable. Being more like, haha, I'm smarter than you. But no, that's not what happened. So it's like, really? Anyway, see you next week for the final episode. I think next week. I guess she's gonna battle class rep. Yeah, so that is gonna be class admin, yeah. And the space team there was weird. I love that scene though, when she was like dark behind the class president, right? Yeah. So I mean, obviously, anime has always has some really cool scenery and moments, right? But that's what it is, right? You feel like you could sit and look at the images, and you're like, yeah, hot girl. That's something you get. Right? So anyway, see you next week. Have a great day.